What's up YouTube, I'm Vaughn and this is the YuGiOh channel where we discuss collectibles, hobbies, competitive games from tabletop to video games. And today's episode we are reviewing my Salamangreat deck. That's right, so after topping a few remote duels tournaments, I decided to do a deck profile of my deck. Now, which also remind me that you should like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because on the upcoming video, we're going to be opening a bunch of OTS 14 packs. So with that being said, let's begin the review. And here is my Salamangreat deck. Now, we are playing 46 cards in the main and 15 in the extra deck. We are not showing the side deck because side decks are a personal preference and it depends on your playstyle. So what works for me might not work for you. So let's get into the main deck. So first off, we have the 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Effect Veilers. Then we have our main girl, 3 Lady Debugs, which is a big 1-card OTK. 3 Parallel Exceeds, which is amazing for linking upwards or XYZing with as well. 2 Foxies, because the second effect is actually extremely good. By discarding Salamangreat cards, you can special summon him and pop a face-up spell and trap card on either player's field. Then we have the 2 Spinnies, 2 Jack Jaguars, 1 Gazelle, 1 Fowl, 1 Mole, and 1 Falco. That's it for the monsters, and we're going to go into the spells. So first we have our 3 Lightning Storms, which is amazing and makes us have a very strong going second when we pull this card. And it's really good of removing your opponent's monsters or even back row. This is a must-have in this deck. Then we have the best card in this deck is the 3 Droplets. Now this card, for starting first, is good because you have a negation, and if you have Gazelle in your hand, you are able to send a Salamangreat monster to the graveyard and that would trigger your Gazelle. But for going second, this card is even better. With your opponent having a full field of negations and it becomes an issue, this card you can send 4 cards as a cost, and since this deck could do an OTK with a 1-card combo, you're able to do a whole board wipe just with this card and winning the game. Then we have 3 Psionic Minings, 3 Paw of Desires, 1 Salamangreat Sanctuary, 1 Salamangreat Circle, which we wish we could put more. And that's it for the spells. And now for the traps with 3 Imperms, 3 Goes Unmatched, 2 Rage, and then 2 War. Now let's check out the extra deck. We have the 3 Baylings, 2 Sunlight Wolves, and the reason why I'm only playing 2 is because I've never been in a scenario that I would actually really need that 3rd Sunlight Wolf. So to make room, I put it down to 2, and there has been no regret of putting it down to 2. And worst comes to worst, your Jack Jaguar can always put it back, or 1 Sunlight Wolf could return the other Sunlight Wolf back into the deck too. So you never be in a situation that you really need that 3rd Sunlight Wolf. Then we have 2 Heart Leos. Amazing card for a very tight situation, and especially dealing with back rows, this card helps a lot. Then we have the 1 Salamangreat El Mirage, which is probably one of the biggest and most helpful Salamangreat Link monster in this deck, because when you're dealing with tight situations, this card could turn all your hand traps into a Salamangreat monster, so you're able to use your Spinny or your Jack Jaguar, and also you could use any of your hand traps with the Parallel Exceed as well. So this card becomes very helpful in this deck. Then we have the 1 Linguribo, which actually helps with dealing with lots of trap cards like Evenly Matched, or if you're against Eldritch, this card negates and banishes that trap card. Then we have Splash Mage. This helps with tight situations that you want to OTK your opponent, so very helpful. Update Jammer, meant for only OTKing your opponent. Transcode Talker, which is really good to get the access code, but there's also another feature to this card. If you link it with Sunlight Wolf, both of them cannot be targeted and they each gain 500 attack. So this card actually helps if you're against decks like Sky Strikers that all the cards are targeting your stuff. This card definitely prevents your opponent from targeting, and if you're able to link it with access code, you are able to make sure none of them could Effect Veiler or Imperm them. So the 1 access code definitely for OTKs. And now let's get into the XYZ. So we have Abyss Drella, which is very good for today's format. It's stopping a lot of decks, especially the Phantom Knights. This kills it. If you're against mirror matches of Salamangreat, you will want this as well. A lot of people are choosing this over the Trap Trick. So it's very debatable if you actually want to play the Trap Trick or Abyss Drella. I think Abyss Drella is a lot better. Then we have the one Babushka that stops a lot of decks like Infernobles or Dogma Invoke as well. And that's it for the deck. That's it for my Salamangreat deck profile. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not playing Nibiru or Will of the Salamangreats, well, it's quite simple. Nibiru I always keep mostly into the side because it's not really good to have it usually in main, and especially with today's format, a lot of people could do a negation summon on the 4th summon, or even sometimes even less. And also for most combo decks, you're able to still play even after getting Nibiru, like my deck. I've been Nibiru many times and I'm still able to play around it. So it's not really that good, except for that really tight game 2 or game 3 that you were actually sided in just to really cripple your opponent for your turn so you'll be able to OTK. Now for Will of the Salamangreat, there is a lot of debate with that card, and especially that back then it was definitely a guarantee to play with it. But now we're playing mostly less like pure Salamangreat. We have Lady Debugs, we have Parallel Exceed, even the Link monsters. It's not all Salamangreat, and even the hand trap. So it's very situational that you actually even use the second ability, a Will of the Salamangreat, and the first ability, you only really use it if you're in a situation that you actually do get Nibiru'd or a board wipe, and that's your only option, but it's very slim to break yourself, and especially starting first, you definitely do not want to draw into this card. Now, if you disagree with me, comment it down below, or if you have any more questions about this deck, you can always leave a comment and I'll answer as soon as possible. Now, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, like and subscribe. And if you guys want to see more upcoming products we're planning on reviewing on this channel, you can follow me on my Instagram, VaughnGear. Till next time, I'm Vaughn, and this was the Gear Channel.